Hello friends, this is Lindsay for Fontsy. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we're talking about heat transfer vinyl and how to use a heat press to apply it to items that are heat sensitive or any material that you're just not quite sure how it's going to react to the high heat of a heat press. So if you've ever looked at something and gone, I wonder, can I apply HTV to that? Then here are some tips and things to keep in mind so you can experiment and have some fun with HTV. So what we're using in today's video is Caesar EasyWeed Heat Transfer Vinyl, which I am cutting out with my Silhouette Cameo 4. But you can use any cutting machine you like, your CRICUT, your Scan and Cut. And the design that I'm cutting out comes from the August 2021 bundle. So I have all the links to the supplies that I'm using in the video description. So the first piece of advice we'd like to share is maybe something that you have learned the hard way, like myself, is ideally you want to have a backup or a spare of whatever you are trying to press the HTV to. So for example, I have this mini backpack that I want to press some HTV onto. So because I am not sure how the material is going to react with the heat press, I was able to pick up a spare so I can do some testing before I actually go to, press it on the item that I really want to have the HTV on. Now, if finding a spare is just not an option, then definitely stick around and keep in mind the rest of the tips that we're sharing in the video. So the best place that you could start would be to do a test press of the HTV, which we're going to do on this backpack. So I'm just going to take a small piece of the Caesar EasyWeed and press it with my heat press in just an inconspicuous part of the backpack at the HTV's recommended time and temperature. And we'll see how that turns out and if we need to make any adjustments. Another thing that you'll want to be sure to use is a cover sheet. So like a piece of parchment paper, which is what I'm doing, works perfectly because this is just going to provide an extra layer of protection between the heat press and your heat sensitive item. This is EasyWeed that I'm pressing for 10 seconds at 305 degrees Fahrenheit. So if the test press comes out successful on your test item with the HTV's recommended settings, then you're able just to move on to your project and use the HTV's recommended settings for time and temperature with the cover sheet, of course. But if not, then if you see heat marks or scorching, then you do need to adjust the time and temperature. So you'll have to lower the temperature. And with Caesar EasyWeed, you can go down to 270 or 280 degrees Fahrenheit. But when you lower the temperature, that means you need to increase your pressing time. So you'll need to increase it anywhere from 5 to an additional 10 seconds to the recommended press time. So one other thing that you may need to keep in mind, depending on what you're working on, is if your item has additional hardware, like the backpack has, additional little bits to it. So if you can position those off the lower platen of the heat press so they're not being exposed to the heat. I was even able to fold the metal zipper underneath a pressing pillow so it wasn't being exposed directly to the heat. And then of course to use your cover sheet as well. For my final project, I did end up lowering the temperature to 280 degrees Fahrenheit and pressing this for 20 seconds. And it came out great. I don't see any scorch marks or heat press marks. So it came out absolutely great and I'm super happy with it. So there it is, my friends, pressing on heat sensitive materials. Use a cover sheet. You may need to lower the temperature and then increase the pressing time. But most importantly, if you can do some testing on a test item beforehand, then that is going to be best case scenario. So if you are interested in any of the supplies that I used, including the design that I pressed onto this backpack, then I've linked them in the video description, so you can check them out. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial, you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye!